Hi, Total Recapped here. Today, we will be going through the events of a 2009 science fiction horror film, Splice. Now let's get right into the movie. The movie begins with two scientists experimenting to create a species. It turns out that these two scientists are husband and wife. Their names are Clive Nicolai and Elsa Cast. Both Clive and Elsa are genetic engineers who combine the DNA of various creatures to form new ones. They work for a pharmaceutical company named Nucleic Exchange Research and Development called NERD. They produce new breeds of creatures and use their protein to create medicines. They have recently created a male creature that was produced by mixing DNA from all animals. A female version of the same creature has previously been created. They now keep both creatures in the same box and record a video of how affectionately they move towards one another. The creatures are named Ginger and Fred. They are very delighted with their success. The next day, they go to see their boss, William Barlow and Joan Sherratt, and they show her their new experiment and inform them that they have made this creature by mixing DNA from various animals and that the protein from this creature can be used to cure various diseases, including Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, and even cancer. In addition, they say that they are working on combining the DNA of humans and these animals to create a hybrid species that will benefit humanity. In response, their boss discards their idea and tells them to stop all their research and focus on making proteins from the breed they made earlier. Later, they can think about mixing DNA from humans with it. Elsa tells her that someone else will do their work if they do not. Her boss states that they'll go for it as soon as they make the needed proteins for a drug. Elsa is very disappointed as they are genetic engineers, and she does not want to work for a medicine company her whole life. She wants to follow her dreams instead. Afterward, Elsa and Clive decide to carry out this research secretly, so no one, not even their boss, knows anything about it. In order to carry out the study, Elsa and Clive require female human DNA. Using the DNA of a random female, Elsa begins experimenting with it. After many trials and changing the enzymes, the DNA of humans and animals does not match. Despite all of their efforts, it doesn't work. Elsa and Clive have a small discussion at their home about shifting their house, to which Elsa disagrees. Elsa responds that she doesn't have any family plans and won't sacrifice her dreams to have a baby. The next day, Elsa brings in another woman's DNA, and Clive asks who it belongs to which Elsa replies that it belongs to a random woman. After much effort and hard work, the DNA matches and they become very happy. Eventually, they begin to notice changes in the mixed up DNA, which means that their experiment is working. Clive decides to stop the research since making hybrid species secretly is illegal. Suddenly, Elsa takes the DNA samples to the lab and locks the door from inside, making it impossible for Clive to enter. Clive starts shouting from outside to open the lab door. Elsa goes into a room in which there is a machine that provides a possible way to give birth to creatures with their DNA artificially, and she wants to see if they can survive. She begins the process of artificially giving birth to the creature. Although Clive tells her to stop, she doesn't listen to him, and he eventually agrees with her to continue the research. Clive is persuaded by Elsa's words that every day numerous people die, and what if this experiment could make medicines that could save their lives? Shockingly, the creature appears to be growing at a faster rate than any normal animal or human. Elsa checks the creature in the laboratory and is relieved to find that it is perfectly healthy. An alarm beeps in the laboratory that evening, and they find that the creature is fully developed and ready to take birth, but it is very strange looking. Clive decides to kill the creature, but Elsa stops him, thinking that what if they become successful in creating it? They go to check for the creature and find that it is only the skin they mistake for the dead child. After some time, Elsa notices that the creature has two legs as it runs around the room. Toxic gases could kill the creature, so Clive tells Elsa to move. Elsa doesn't listen to Clive and asks the creature to come to her as she wouldn't hurt her. The creature comes to Elsa and is no longer afraid of her. Elsa tells Clive to make the creature unconscious so they can study it temporarily. Also, she tells him this creature is growing very quickly and eventually it will die after completing its life cycle. Upon bringing the creature to the laboratory, they discover that it is a female creature. As Elsa becomes emotionally attached to the creature, she feeds her and makes her do various activities. Her quest reveals that the creature can spell nerd by picking the word from her shirt using the alphabets. The creature makes Elsa very happy, while Clive, on the other hand, does not like it at all from the beginning. Clive is confused as to why Elsa is bringing this creature outdoors and why her tail is not covered. Elsa ignores his questions and she names her Dren. One day, Clive's brother Gavin sees her as she jumps on him and leaves the laboratory in fear without listening to any explanation given by his brother. Elsa decides to take her to the farmhouse where she spent her childhood. Elsa takes the creature in a box and shifts her to the farmhouse. The next day, they are called before the company owner to present their research into making proteins from the creatures they created. Because they were so focused on Dren, they missed the fact that the female creature had changed gender and turned into a male. When the creatures are brought close together, both of them fight and kill each other. Their boss reprimands them. On the other hand, Dren has now grown up and Elsa treats her like her own child. Dren runs into the woods in the farmhouse and kills and eats a rabbit. They find her and bring her home. Following this, Elsa offers her food, which she refuses to eat, and goes out by breaking the ceiling window. To everyone's surprise, Dren grows wings at the top of her roof. Clive convinces her that they love her and she comes back. Clive and Dren are becoming more and more infatuated with each other, and Clive realizes that Dren's DNA is Elsa's. One day, Dren kills a cat right in front of Elsa and tries to run away after taking Elsa's key. Elsa ties Dren up and cuts her tail because it is poisonous and can kill anyone. Clive warns her not to do this. Elsa is very sad about all of this happening. Clive visits Dren alone at the farmhouse one day. Due to their growing liking for each other, they both engage in sexual activity. During this, Elsa comes through and is shocked. She leaves furiously, and Clive follows behind to stop her. Elsa yells at Clive, who confronts her and tells her that she didn't want her child because she thought she might lose control of it all, and so she used her DNA to create this creature. They both realize that they made a big mistake by creating this creature. Elsa successfully makes the protein, the task of which was assigned by the company to them using Dren. Clive and Elsa also contemplate killing Dren, but they see it is already dying by the time they reach the farmhouse. At Nerd, William Barlow discovers human DNA in Dren's protein samples. Dren eventually dies and she is buried in the backyard. At that moment, Gavin, Clive's brother, and William come and want to see Dren because Elsa's protein contains human DNA. Clive and Elsa say that she's dead now and they've buried her. Suddenly, Dren rises from the grave and attacks them. She has grown her wings and tail and is looking more ferocious now. Dren jumps on Clive's brother and the boss and kills them. Elsa notices that Dren has now transformed herself into a male. Metamorphosed into a male, Dren rapes Elsa. Clive injures him by stabbing him with a wooden stick from between. Elsa takes a large chunk of rock and waits for a moment before killing Dren because she is despondent to kill the thing she has created. Dren kills Clive in this instance, and then Elsa kills him with the rock. The scene shifts to an office tower where Joan reveals that Dren's body contains several biochemical compounds that the company is attempting to patent. Joan offers Elsa a lot of money to keep the child growing in her womb due to her mating with Dren. Elsa accepts the offer. And that was my recap of the movie. I hope you enjoyed it. Now comment on what your favorite part was, and make sure to hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. Until next time, this has been Total Recap.